Welcome to Talent on Tap. I'm Brendan Brown, and I am coming to you from the headquarters of Levi Strauss & Company, one of the most storied brands in all the world, never mind in the US or San Francisco, but I'm excited to welcome James Hudson, who is Director of Talent Acquisition here. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Brendan.
It's good to see you again. Tell us a little bit about who Levi's is and a little bit about what makes it so unique.
I feel like everybody knows the Levi's brand, but I think what a lot of people don't know is that we're 165 years old as a business. We're, West Coast pioneers here in America. We now sell in 110 countries around the world through 50,000 different points of sale, 3,000 of which are our branded stores.
Give us a sense of a little bit of the history of the company, which people may not be aware of.
Sure. So we're a business built on immigration. We were founded by Levi Strauss, who immigrated here from Buttenheim in Bavaria in Germany in 1853. He opened a dry goods business here in San Francisco, primarily to service the gold rush. And in doing so, he spotted an opportunity to innovate. He noticed that the miners were working through their clothes at a disproportionate rate, so he invented the blue jean as a way to meet the needs of the community here.
It's really quite a feat to see a company still thriving after all these years. Can you talk a little bit about, in your experience, what it is that makes the company so built to last, so to speak?
I think anyone that works here would agree that one of the reasons we've been able to survive for the past 165 years is because we really believe in profits through principles, and everything we do are built on the founding principles and the values of Levi Strauss. To kind of put that in context, when he came here in 1853, within 2 years, the business he founded was profitable. The very first thing he did with that first year's profit was donate money to a local orphanage here in San Francisco. We still give money to that orphanage today, and I don't think there's any other business in America that can truly say that for 165 years they've given back to the communities that they operate in.
Talk a little bit more about how that's been pulled forward. I know there's a lot of different causes that have been priority for the company.
We like to say that we've always been on the right side of history, and that's manifested itself in a number of different ways throughout the history of America. Fast forward to the 1980s here in San Francisco, even before HIV/AIDS had a name, Bob Hass, who's a direct descendant of Levi Strauss, and his executive team stood shoulder to shoulder with Levi's employees here in San Francisco, trying to educate people about this new deadly disease that no one knew anything about.
Wow. In terms of when you're recruiting, how do you get that message out, or how does it show up in your process?
I always say to the team that at the end of the day, we're salespeople, right? In the talent acquisition team, we're selling something. What we're selling is incredibly precious. It's someone's career. It doesn't just impact the individual, it impacts their entire family. And I also say that you can only truly, authentically sell something that you believe in. I think my job here is very easy because there is so much that we do in terms of profits through principles and the values that underpin this company that wherever your personal passions lie, there is something that we do as an organization that you can align with, that you can see your own values resonate with those of the company. So it makes it very easy for my team to go and tell these really authentic, compelling stories.
Interesting. And how do you equip your recruiters to go tell that? So obviously they're bringing their own experiences to the table, but in terms of getting people ready to go speak to candidates, how do you prepare them?
Well, that's a good question, Brendan. Talent acquisition just doesn't happen in our corporate offices. In fact, the vast majority of talent acquisition happens on the front line in the field. And what's really nice in my role is that I don't have to be prescriptive in telling our store managers how to tell values-led stories, because values-led initiatives aren't something that are isolated to our corporate offices. All of our people around the world have the opportunity to volunteer, to give back, and to stand up in the communities that they operate in. So everybody has the opportunity to tell a values-led story authentically for what resonates with them and for the work that they do in their own communities.
No matter where they are. So if they're in a retail store, if they're here at corporate?
Yeah, everybody has the opportunity to give back.
That is amazing. Obviously, it's very competitive for talent. How do you use this story that you just told me as a differentiator when you're out there competing for top talent?
Well, Brendan, as you know, here in the Bay Area, it's not just one of the most competitive talent markets in America, it's one of the most competitive talent markets in the world. And frankly speaking, my team can't compete with the likes of LinkedIn and the other big Silicon Valley businesses. We're an entirely different business, right? That being said, where we can really over-index is the strong values that have formed part of the fabric of this company since day one. I truly believe that the modern job seeker is looking for more than just a company to work for. They're looking for a place where their beliefs can resonate with those of the organization that they work for. I think what we're seeing today in terms of the political and social landscape, values mean more to people than ever. So to have these incredible stories that people can really resonate with, I think it gives us a real competitive advantage in this talent market.
Yeah, I absolutely think you're right there. I mean, it's interesting to hear the stances the company's taken, because they are just that. I mean, I think it sounds like the company stands up for what it believes in, which often is not the case, depending what company you're talking about. So for viewers who are trying to figure out how to really pull values into their process and sort of have a more values-based recruiting approach, any advice?
What's really hard is that it has to be truly authentic, otherwise it won't resonate. And I feel like the modern job seeker can really discern between what's truly values-led and what's an effort to jump on the corporate social responsibility bandwagon. I'm really fortunate here that there is enough that we do that I can find what resonates with me personally and then speak authentically to that. I would say try and do the same thing within your own organizations. Find what really truly resonates with you and then capitalize on that.
Do you think that people overthink that in recruiting? Meaning like, oh, here, give me the scriptive stories, when in fact they are the story. They may actually be the story themselves.
Yeah, I would venture to suggest that if you're overthinking it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
If you're not speaking from the heart, people can tell.
Yeah, great advice. I have learned so much here today. I had no idea of the incredible history of the company and how important values are throughout the history. So thank you for spending the time with us today.
My absolute pleasure. Good to see you, Brendan.